Alright, what's happening, y'all? It's your boy Rico from Street Scores coming with a Rico report. Haven't done one of these in a while where it's just a lot of different topics in one video, but I wanted to make sure I got y'all all of this information instead of splitting it up into several videos. And I mean, I have so many videos that need to come out that I may still come with another one tomorrow, as in Friday, maybe another one Saturday and things like that. So I had to double dip on the videos today with a double upload, just like we did with getting 2 GMs essentially, and I'm talking about that in this video. Just wanted to update y'all on where Haskins has ended up. Wanted to briefly talk about Alex Smith winning Comeback Player of the Year. Of course, we knew that, but it still needs to be said out loud just in case some of y'all may have missed it. It wasn't like this big celebrated thing over Twitter. Deshaun Watson, Martin Mayhew, Marty Hurney just basically took all of the Alex Smith news out of the picture. I mean, it basically just put it on the back burner, so I felt like that needs to be announced and discussed for a little bit so he can get the attention that it deserves. Because with everything else going on, a lot of people probably missed it. Also, I want to talk about Jennifer King and congratulate her. And lastly, bro, is Cameron Curl really that good? I mean, I'm gonna do a film session on him, but one stat he put up this year is ridiculous, y'all. Like, is Cameron Curl really like one of the best safeties in the NFL type of thing? Let's go ahead and get into this. Let's get it. Oh, and just because I double uploaded don't mean don't look at the Deshaun Watson video now. You can watch both of them, you know what I mean? Take your time though, no rush. Alright, so first of all, wanted to officially announce that Martin Mayhew will be the GM. At first it looked like Marty Hurney would be the GM and Martin Mayhew would just take some type of front office executive role, but now it looks like it's the opposite, which is the way I prefer it. We have to take these two guys who aren't just like the best candidates out here doing it at all. We could have done much worse, but we've also could have possibly have done better. But if we're gonna take these two guys, I'm definitely glad that Martin Mayhew is the GM and Marty Hurney is gonna have some type of front office executive role to where he's handling like the business side of things. Now I want Kyle Smith running the draft, point blank period. I want Ron Rivera, Kyle Smith, and whoever else was involved in that last year free agency to run that. And I like Martin Mayhew for trades. I mean, he can add his little input here and there in the draft and all of that, but I want him running trades. His most consistent and best work have been the trades he's gotten done, and I feel like it's more so like a who you know, not a what you know thing. He's really connected. He's able to make trades with all kinds of franchises around the league because he has connections with a lot of them. So that not only opens up more doors for us, but it also makes it so we can probably get better trades because he's like, you know, friends with a lot of these guys rather than him just getting hated on and having to give up the most value possible for some of the guys that we want or the picks that we want. So Martin Mayhew being in the building does help in a way, as long as he just doesn't have complete control. Which of course he won't, because this is a coach-centric team, just like I spoke about in my previous video about Martin Mayhew, that this is Ron Rivera's show. Just like Pete Carroll in Seattle, Bill Belichick in New England, and Andy Reid for the Chiefs, this is Ron Rivera's show. He just wanted to bring in some more input, some more opinions, some more eyes, and he wanted people to handle more business sides of the thing. And I think Kyle Smith, honestly, is going to hold a pretty prominent role in this organization, at least for next year, because first of all, nobody's lining up to interview him. Also, there are many examples of guys being very young with a lot of potential, a lot of genius to them like Kyle Smith, and them having to wait years to finally become a GM somewhere. So I feel like we may retain Kyle Smith for at least this next year. And it's been reported that Smith has been readying for a GM position for years now, which is why we promoted him in the first place to running the entire personnel department to basically keep him happy and give him more control and basically baby steps to work his way up to the GM role. But it's more complicated than that, especially in Ron Rivera's eyes. Ron Rivera mostly just needs help from Martin Mayhew and Marty Hurney as far as administrative functions go and the business sides of things. And Kyle Smith doesn't necessarily bring that yet. He's a great scout. I mean, player evaluation, talent evaluation, all of that. He's A1 at it. But he doesn't have the entire GM attribute tree yet. He doesn't have everything on his belt yet to be a full-blown GM, at least trustworthy enough for Ron Rivera to take a chance on him. So he brought in more experienced guys that have had experiences working with all kinds of organizations, again, to have connections. That's very big for us, and can do things that Kyle Smith just can't. Kyle Smith is great in the draft and free agency, especially the draft, but Martin Mayhew and Marty Hurney are going to be able to pick up the slack for things that Kyle Smith isn't great at, and that Ron Rivera just doesn't feel like dealing with anymore, because I feel like last year Ron Rivera had a lot on his plate, and that's why he's ready to move on. And Martin Mayhew, really his biggest draft bust of like early round draft busts have been like running backs and tight ends. Luckily, we already have a strong tight end one, a good running back group. I mean, we may need to figure out how we're going to address tight end too, but at least Martin Mayhew's biggest weakness for talent evaluation is already solved with this team, so he can't mess this up. Moving on, Haskins has now signed with the Steelers, which makes a lot of sense. I can't even take credit for this because a lot of us have been saying for weeks, since we benched them week 5, a lot of us, I mean hundreds of us, have been saying that the Steelers make the most sense. He's basically like a Ben Roethlisberger mold as far as quarterback goes, as far as his mobility, his arm strength and everything. He, at his best, could project to be a Ben Roethlisberger. But who knows? It's going to take all work ethic and everything. And he's taking the number 3 because, of course, Ben Roethlisberger already wears number 7. So that kind of sucked for him. But he had another offer on the table, another offer or two. So he chose the Steelers. I mean, it's a really good defense. Good team overall, great head coach. And honestly, Mike Tomlin being a black head coach, Dwayne Haskins being a black quarterback, he may get a little bit more leeway just off of that. Like, Mike Tomlin's probably going to pull for him harder than like another head coach would. But at the same time, Mike Tomlin doesn't play none of that. I mean, there were games last year the Steelers won, and he was still upset as if they lost by 30 because he expects full discipline. He wants to make sure he dominates and everything is clicking on all cylinders. So if Haskins isn't ready to put in the work, which I'm very worried about, then he's not going to work out there either. I mean, I'm more afraid of him not working out for Mike Tomlin than Ron Rivera. I mean, Ron Rivera is this disciplinarian, and he's easily top 5 in coaches that it's either my way or the highway. But Mike Tomlin's probably even more of that than Ron Rivera. I mean, Mike Tomlin does not play. So Dwayne Haskins, boy, you better get it right. You better get it nice, because you're going to be right up out of there, and that might be your last opportunity. Now, as far as we go with Dwayne Haskins, I feel like Ron Rivera and Scott Turner didn't want Dwayne Haskins from the beginning, so they didn't put all that they could into Dwayne Haskins, but it's more so Dwayne Haskins' fault than anybody else. I mean, if I had to split it up, I would say it's like 70% Dwayne Haskins, maybe even more than that, and like 30% Rivera, Scott Turner, and Ken Zampese combined. I think honestly they just didn't really see themselves as having Dwayne Haskins as their franchise quarterback of the future. They just had to make it work for at least a little while to just show that, hey, now it's our time to go get a guy, because Dwayne Haskins isn't our guy. So I don't think they put their all into him, but he also didn't put his all back to them. And of course, like I said, it's like 70-80% his fault that this all happened. So Dwayne Haskins is all on you to get it together for the Steelers. I'm rooting for you, but you got to get it together, man. Whatever you pulled over here is not going to fly for the Steelers. And again, it's not like Ron Rivera is just out here accepting mediocrity, accepting undisciplined players. Again, Ron Rivera is one of the most discipline enforcing military type guys in the NFL, but I feel like Mike Tomlin has an even shorter leash, especially since Haskins is already messed up, so he's on a shorter leash just off of the fact that this is his second opportunity. Moving on, man, shouts out to Alex Smith, man. Big shouts out to Alex Smith. He won Comeback Player of the Year. Should have been won it. I mean, we already knew once he stepped on the field, once he took one snap, he should have won it. But then he went 5-1. I mean, that Eagles game, I don't know, technically kind of 4-2, whatever. At the end of the day, he won way more games than he lost this season. And even though he's clearly not the future of this franchise, and we can save $15 million next season against the cap by releasing him, this was a magical season, and I appreciate everything he did for us. He showed this team that we can believe in ourselves. I feel like Ron Rivera was the biggest part of that, but Alex Smith definitely helped a lot in that department, and it allowed guys like Cameron Curl, Cornelius Lucas, J.D. McKissick, Antonio Gibson, Montez Sweat, Chase Young, Terry McLaurin, a lot of our very young, talented guys to develop and become better because they felt like they were playing for something meaningful and had a purpose behind it. So big shouts out to Alex Smith, man. Again, like I said before the intro, I felt like this just didn't get enough attention. The GM discussions, the Deshaun Watson speculations, the Haskins, all of that just seemed like it took front page of the news day after day, and this just kind of got swept up under the rug. But I wanted to make sure I set aside some time to congratulate Alex Smith, man. I mean, at least from me to you, congratulations, man. We really appreciate everything you did for us, bro. And I really hope that we can bring you back as some type of like front office or coaching assistant role, just something to where you're involved in the organization in some capacity. Not sure if it's likely, but would love to still have you around. Just paying you $25 million next year just can't be it. I'm sorry. Moving on, Jennifer King is now a full-time offensive assistant for the Washington football team. Yes, sir. She already made history last year for being the first full-time African-American female assistant coach when she did a full year coaching intern with us last season. Now she's getting a promotion and she will be the full-time offensive assistant, because last year she just basically helped out Randy Jordan, our running backs coach. And I mean, Antonio Gibson, JD McKissick looked pretty good out there, and I'm pretty sure she played a decent role in that. She also has similar responsibilities as far as developing Christian McCaffrey for the Panthers a couple of years ago. So her track record is good, and there's a reason that she's able to elevate this far in his career this soon. I feel like she may be a very talented, bright young mind that could be emerging from this Washington coaching room again. I mean, we just keep doing it. Deshaun McVay's, Kyle Shanahan's, Kevin O'Connell's, Matt LaFleur's. Maybe Jennifer King is like the next one of that. We'll see. But she is one of 4 full-time female coaches in the NFL, along with assistant defensive line coach Lori Lacusse, Buccaneers assistant strength and conditioning coach Morale Javadafar, and 49ers offensive assistant Katie Sowers. They're the only 4 full-time female coaches in the NFL, period. So big shouts out to Jennifer King for being in such exclusive and historical company, man. Again, this is something that recently happened earlier today, and I wanted to make sure it got enough airtime, at least on my channel, to be acknowledged and congratulated. And lastly, bruh, is Cameron Curl really that dude? I mean, I don't know what we're going to do with Landon Collins. Are we going to be able to move him to linebacker? He says he doesn't want to, and some people say he can't play linebacker at his weight, but Darius Leonard is over there doing it for the Colts at a very high level, and he weighs like 10 pounds less than Landon Collins. So if Darius Leonard can do it, Landon Collins can do it. Plus, Landon Collins, you should have been in the box. You in coverage is not it. We know this already. And Cameron Curl has secured that strong safety spot. If it's not broken, don't fix it. Cameron Curl was on a terror this season. Should have been started. I mean, there's no way to tell that he was going to be this good. But still, if he would have started sooner, he probably would have set a couple of records. Because Cameron Curl had 37 defensive stops in 2020. He's the only rookie safety to lead his position in this since Pro Football Focus has been tracking this since 2006. So it may go even further back than this. But ever since Pro Football Focus has been keeping track of defensive stops, Cameron Curl is the first rookie safety since then, back in 2006, to lead the safety position. Is this technically the brightest gem, arguably, in Washington history, in Burgundy and Gold history? I mean, 7th round? Somebody that talented, somebody that productive, that great. And again, the part that is most amazing is that he didn't start till week 4, and then he started again week 5. Then he didn't start week 6 and 7, and then he finally became a full-time starter as of week 9. So those are 5 games he didn't start in. Whereas guys like Antoine Winfield have been starting since day 1, and Cameron Curl still outperformed them. I don't know why Bruce Arians is talking about Antoine Winfield should win Defensive Rookie of the Year over Chase Young. Antoine Winfield shouldn't even win Defensive Rookie Safety of the Year over Cameron Curl. Let's talk about that. So yeah, man, it looks like we found us a real one in Cameron Curl. I feel like Kyle Smith has a strong hand on the decision in drafting Cameron Curl. So again, keep Kyle Smith as long as we can. Keep promoting him to whatever we have to promote him to, because what he does in drafts is just amazing. I mean, of course he's not perfect. We missed on a few guys, but finding a Cameron Curl in the 7th, a Chase Roulier in the 6th, Tim Settle, Cole Holcomb in the 5th, Antonio Gibson, Terry McLaurin in the 3rd. Like, come on now. Like, this is ridiculous, bro. And Cameron Curl is probably one of the biggest draft steals in Burgundy and Gold history, especially if he keeps only getting better and projects to be what we feel like he should be, just based off of what he's done just within starting fully since week 9. I mean, he basically didn't become the full-time starter till like halfway through the season. But yeah, man, that's the end of this Rico's report. Again, haven't done one of these in a while, so it was pretty fun to talk about various topics, jumping from topic to topic and not just discussing one topic in depth for a very long time. That was fun. I definitely got to do more of these, so expect more Rico reports. Of course, expect more film sessions, expect more mock drafts, all of that throughout this offseason. And of course, the live streams will not stop every Sunday, every Friday, and even more than that possibly throughout this offseason. So make sure y'all definitely like this video if you liked it. Please subscribe if you haven't. Definitely hit the bell next to the subscription button so you get a notification every time I come out with a video like this one, all my other types of videos, and my live streams. And definitely get in the comment section and let me know how you feel about everything discussed in this video. And as always, man, I really appreciate everybody that supports the channel, man. Everybody that gives to the channel, that donates. All of my sponsors, especially my Pro Bowl sponsors whose names you see scrolling on the screen right now. Man, I had to double dip today. I had to double upload. It's too much going on concerning the Washington football team. Had to do it. And I'm planning on coming out with videos tomorrow as in Friday, Saturday also, maybe even Sunday even though I'm live streaming. It's just so much. Again, like I've said in previous videos, I have like 30 videos I need to do. It's just finding the time to record it and edit it and get it out to y'all. So just stay tuned for that. Again, if you haven't seen it yet, stay tuned for my outro right after this. I'll catch y'all later. I'm out.